Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foul Ball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well. I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. So, how's everybody doing? How are you? It's Tuesday. I know the show's called MFer Mondays. Please don't, be too. I hope that doesn't bother you. That's what I'm trying to say. And I haven't been doing this show for a while because I've been way too busy. But I found a little bit of time, and I really wanted to make sure I wanted to come on and talk about the whole Vegas meetup and the whole trip and all that stuff because it was so much fun and such a cool thing and so much cool, so much positive, fandom menace stuff went down and lots of meetings of the minds and hopefully new connections were made. And it was just a hootenanny. Also, Fez Whatley, famous radio host, died over the weekend, and I was more a fan of Opie and Anthony, but also a fan of Ron and Fez. Hate Fez, Rennie B, and Ron Bennington and all that, and wanted to touch on that for a little while, and then maybe some of the old wacky stories of the day. Yeah, hi, thanks for stopping in, much appreciated. I see that 70s Rock fan dropped a comment 2 hours ago. Thanks, that 70s Rock fan. I don't know if you're still here, but I'm very appreciative of you. My good man. Soda Poop is Q Burr. Hail. Good to see the polar bear. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I feel like I haven't seen anybody in a while because I haven't been broadcasting. I was in Vegas, so I missed the Culture Crime Fighters on Wednesday. I missed the Cocktail Lounge on Friday, and but I'm here. Pat S. Hail. Pat S. Fatty Pneumonia. Maybe not the most kind and positive nickname that he has ever been received, but we love Fezzy. Sorry, Fezzy. Hey, Q Burr, Fez Marie Whatley passed this weekend. Those of us who loved him called him by his childhood nickname. Yeah, he had a few. And yes, blueberry is a standalone fruit. It's not like the kiwi. Which needs to be in a sound. That is one of the most uncomfortable moments in radio ever, I think. Let me see if I can't find Coke Logic's video of the standalone fruit. Standalone fruit. And I was listening to Sam Roberts kind of eulogize him on Jim and Sam yesterday. And he was saying, the one thing he kept saying was he didn't know what was a bit and what wasn't. Oh, hail the Islington girl. Good to see you. On the Cocktail Lounge, all they did was talk about hockey, lol. Vigilante Williamson was talking about hockey? I didn't know he was a hockey fan. Okay. But anyway, when Sam Roberts was eulogizing Fez, the one thing he kept saying was he was a master at sticking with the bit. And I never knew. I never knew what was a bit and what was a work. I mean, there was a fake beef between Opie and Anthony and Ron and Fez way back when in the early 2000s. So that was obviously not real. But other than that, no, I never knew. I always just assumed it was real because Ronnie is so committed, but the way Sam talks about it as this inside baseball, who knows them both so well, he's kind of implying that, a lot of it was a work or a lot of it was just, it is what it is. And so I don't know, but I always enjoyed it. It was always really fun. Hail, Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast. Good to see you, brother. We had a nice little meetup there in Vegas. And if you think my balls didn't get busted because we were in person, you're mistaken. They very much did. Hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you. That was a blast this past weekend. All right, let's watch the Fez Whatley standalone fruit. Standalone. This is not real footage, even though it's extremely realistic looking. This is actually a animated rendition from Coke Logic, who's a longtime Opie and Anthony fan, who would make lots of little videos, and they were very fun, very much a part of the Opie and Anthony lore. And then this is Fezzy's, a big moment for Fez Whatley, who, like I said, passed over the weekend.
You know, we can't bring up fruit juices without playing a clip.
Which clip is that?
This clip.
Now, the blueberry is one that can't work on its own. It has to have something with it, like the kiwi. It's not a standalone fruit.
Why isn't that viral on the internet? That is the most uncomfortable moment in radio history.
Oh my God.
Coke Logic can animate it.
Now, the blueberry is one that can't work on its own. It has to have something with it. Like,
so this is, I mean, like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I think that's kind of one of those obscure, like, radio things, you know, where you're trying to talk about sort of a strange topic, you know, and just sort of like offer like this weird angle on something. Like, I did this show years back where like I started off with this topic where it was like, it always annoyed me when a band would be like, oh, we're not the Rolling Stones, we're Rolling Stones. It's like, oh, shut the you're the Rolling Stones. You know what I mean? Like, we're just we don't have the, we're above the. Shut up. So but that's like a obscure thing to get mad at. I think Fez here is trying. I think what he's trying to do is just offer up like a strange kind of weird observation about fruits, you know, just kind of like those little nuances and crannies in media that you don't always in life that you don't always pick up. But I don't know, it didn't work. And then Ronnie just left him hanging. So let's go on with the clip.
the kiwi. It's not a
Standalone fruit.
a standalone.
And they just keep repeating it over and over.
Standalone fruit.
Standalone fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Coke Logic, we're going to be a team on this. You animate, you'll get all the fame and glory, but it's got to go on my channel. Get to it, Coke Logic.
Now, the blueberry.
All right. Don't need to keep saying it over and over, but that was a great day. That was a great day in radio history. Yeah. Oh, God. Cakehorn was another great one. See, that's what I mean. I don't know, like, is Fez just saying something weird like that, like to kind of alienate people? Like, I don't know. Like, was that all a work? I have no idea. And Ron will never admit it. He'll never say. All right. So not everybody understands. Oh, see, the Islington girl wants to contribute to the blueberry conversations. Fez, your spirit lives on. She says, I would say the blueberry often stands on its own flavor-wise. It's the cherry that can't. Interesting point. Very interesting point. I disagree with his assessment of it not being a standalone fruit. I think it is a standalone fruit. I believe you can eat a blueberry and enjoy it. Handful of blueberries from the farmer's market. What's better than that? You know? Although I do share his assessment of the kiwi. I do think the kiwi by itself a little strange. Maybe it's just because I'm from the different part of the world. I don't want to be a xenophobe, but I find that the kiwi is a bit, not my thing. But we could talk about this topic for a while if you want, guys. We could just go down this whole what fruit is standalone, what isn't. Orange, apples, obviously standalone fruits. Blackberry, not so much. You know, kind of needs a little context, needs a little support, if you will. That berry needs support. Hey, Vigilante Williamson. How are you, my friend? I miss you, buddy. I miss you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Haven't seen you for now. It feels like forever. It's been a week, but it feels much longer in my heart. Me and Vigilante Williamson will be doing the Culture Crime Fighters tomorrow. I believe we are guest-free, but I did meet up with some of your favorite people from the FNT family and the Nerdrotic community. Many of them gave me verbal contracts that they would come on this show and hang out and talk and be merry. And I think that's going to be really fun. So tomorrow, I think it was just the two of us flying solo. But I like doing the solo shows with Vigilante, you know, because when we have a guest on, you kind of have to show a lot of reverence. You know, we need to just kind of be there and engage with the guests and listen and kind of, assert ourselves like here and there. We kind of have to be more of a audience member to their point of view, which is fine and good. But I think a lot of what I really like doing the show is that me and Vigilante kind of hashing things out and getting our opinions, And so much of like having an opinion or being, I don't say being opinionated, but like knowing where you stand on something or having a point of view on something is kind of hashing it out. I feel it's kind of getting into it. Yeah. Tomorrow on this channel, I believe this channel, right? What, Vidge? 5:15, Culture Crime Fighters every Central. That is Central. Gee Willikers, don't want you showing up here an hour early, an hour late. You miss all the festivities. No much fun. Man of War 665, neighbor of the beast. Hail. Just sent me another super chat or a tip, Stream Elements tip. He said, you call it ball busting. I call it tough love, my brother. I will take it either way, my friend. Take it either way. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. No, I 100% encourage it. We got some funny people out there. You are one of them. Why would I stifle that? Why would I? It's funny. It makes the show fun. I love it. I love it. Hey, guys, if you haven't pressed the like button down below, please do so. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to try to get a little more professional with some of this operation, like, encouraging you to like, share, subscribe, all that. And I'm not going to say that phrase because we all just tune that out now. We're like, all right, whatever. I'll parse it out. Every 5 minutes, I'm going to spam you with a request. What do they call that? A call to action. I've been watching a lot of Kyle Dunnigan's show. He does that show with Kurt. He's the Stallonians. He plays Sylvester Stallone. Get a hill. Let's get a hill. It's hilarious. I've been obsessed. Like, I don't know. Since like, Sunday, I've kind of just been watching it nonstop. I think I've almost completed every single episode. Hilarious. But he also will very often, he will ask for the likes and the shares and the contributions. And I'm like, okay, if it's not beneath Kyle Dunnigan, it shouldn't be beneath me. So, Sonora Poopa says, to me, a call to action means to get ready for a nap. Mine is to just avoid a nap. Oh, I made an action. I didn't succumb to my comfortable bed. I really got to like go to a cafe or something like that for like office space because I am the worst when I'm home. Oh my God. I can't stay out of the bed or playing video games or just, wasting time trying to be productive. And all I can do is just like, well, I can just play another hand of Magic. Just one more hand. It's not that long. Then I'll lose. I'll be like, oh, I want to win now. I can't go out on a loss and I'll win. Like, I'm doing so hot. I don't want to walk away. So stupid. So ridiculous. A $1.49 Canadian super sticker. Thank you very much from the Islington girl. And she made us all sandwiches. She made us all sandwiches. The Islington girl, you're nothing if not consistent. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Always lovely to see you. Man of War says that no, I will not Molotov businesses with you, sir. I have no intention of Molotoving businesses. None. In fact, I'm starting to take a hit at work right now because in Austin here, it's stage 5 again. And Sentient Dildy's here. What's up, brother? And the bar I work at is taking a real hit. We are slow. It sucks. It really sucks. Yeah, so it's not awesome. It's not awesome. Sentient Dildo is asking, wait, what's going on? Did I get so wasted last night I lost today? What is this? MFer Monday on a Tuesday? You should be ashamed of yourself. Listen, just be happy I'm even here. I haven't done MFer Mondays in weeks. Because I am irresponsible and not committed enough to you guys, in my own opinion. Because it's tough to have a full-time job and do all this stuff, stream 3 times a week. I'm trying to get a little more disciplined, though, a little more consistent. And I like this. It's fun. Try to keep it going, talk to y'all. It's really a good time. So I do want to got a few articles I'd like to read here regarding my business being on a stage 5 lockdown, which I'm just so annoyed with. Rumor is coming from us from Bounding into Comics, from Spencer Bakuli, who I think is a relatively new contributor over there. He writes an article. So this is rumor. We'll preface it as so. But but it says International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees to, quote, completely reject any and all vaccine mandates, Hollywood facing massive loss of crew members. That is pretty interesting because it is starting to get pretty serious with a lot of this stuff. Like, for instance, here in Austin, like there's a Paramount Theater, which you cannot enter now without a proof of vaccination or a recent COOF test that, proves you are negative. And I'm talking to some people who are local here, and they're like, that's great. Maybe more places will do that. I'm like, wow, this is kind of getting a little scary. So a new report suggests that members of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, a labor union representing over 140,000 North American entertainment craftspersons, are planning to rebel and completely reject any and all COVID-19 jab mandates that their leaders have begun to implement. Fucking based. A based-ass union. Love it. Hail, brightest day. What's going on, brother? I got to meet up with you in Vegas. Which I will get to in a little while because that was so much fun. According to an anonymous source who allegedly broke with the National File reporter Patrick Howley, an anonymous letter has begun circulating amongst Hollywood IATSE crews via text message, which indicates that Hollywood union crew members are fed up with the leadership and are now organizing against their own unions. Based. I like this. They're angry about the mandate, said the source, referring to a recent agreement among this group and other Hollywood trade unions to, among other things, temporarily allow producers to implement mandatory vaccination policies on a film-by-film basis. Hollywood may lose a bunch of its workers. I think this is an angle no one really expected. This is pretty dope. Pretty gosh darn dope, if you ask me. I respect the fact that they're just like, no, we're not doing it. And that's pretty cool because that's sort of like the whole point is that a union is supposed to protect its employees and kind of allow them to voice their concerns and complaints without repercussions. They're supposed to protect you. Don't think they expected it to blow back in their face like this. Huh, that's funny. Mark DiCarlo, you're saying, I was in the parking lot of a theater on the weekend, and I could have gone in to see Black Widow or Suicide Squad. Didn't bother and went home. Yeah, I don't blame you. I didn't see Black Widow, but I did see Suicide Squad. I don't know. Some people liked it. I wouldn't discourage you to see it, but I thought it was really stupid. I don't know. I thought it was dumb. I didn't like it. I thought there was just a lot of things about it that were just like manipulative and kind of substituting like plot and story with like a joke and someone's arm blew up. I don't know. I want to go back and rewatch that and do a review. But I was in Vegas all last week, so only so much time in the world. You know what I mean? Only so much time. Young Butternet, the first time a POC is prevented from entering a building is the day the jab passports end. Interesting that you say that, brother. Interesting that you say that because there was sort of like a BLM thing where they're like the majority of the unjabbed are minorities, and this proves that it's disproportionately affects minorities. Therefore, it's white supremacy or whatever, which is also like, has this group of people never heard of the phrase correlation is not causation? Because every time I ever hear from them, it's like, well, this correlates, so it causes it. So that's like fundamental in science. But anyway, yeah, Vegas flew by. Yeah, absolutely, brightest day. When I get finished with this article, I am going to talk about Vegas. That was really, really fun. In fact, I intended to open up the show with that, but kind of got sidetracked with the whole COOF thing because my job is so negatively affected. I mean, I lost my job all last year, but I was also getting money from the government. I was getting all that free, sweet cash, and now I'm not. And I'm like, but business is low, so I have a job, but it's not significant enough to pay for my bills. So I'm like, this really sucks. Like, it sucked when I was, not without work, and the repercussions of all this money going out on. Okay, fine, but now it's like I can't even afford to live, so I don't know what to do. Anyway, the full letter as reprinted. I don't want to read the letter. Oh, okay. Actually, no, I do want to read it because as reprinted by Howley, reportedly reads as follows. Dear representatives, we feel compelled to write about recent concerns we have, both on our behalf and for all of our coworkers. We hope the points presented can be taken with an open mind as a warning for dangerous future legal risks our own union might be accepting. To that end, the following 2 items are required to earn a yes vote from all of us. Complete rejection of all. Wait, what do you mean required? Oh, from all of you? So all 140,000 people have to agree on this? How can you get 140,000 people to agree on anything? That's crazy. Complete rejection of any and all vaccine mandates. Complete rejection of any and all vaccine status inquiries by employer. Note, this specifically includes complete rejection of any visible marking of crew members with colored stickers or similar, incredibly violating. Omission of either of any new contract will require us to immediately vote no for any new contract. We have no choice in this. For us, it's a non-negotiable. There's no possible compromise. This is essentially a one-issue contract. Damn. They are going hard. Forcing people to give up freedom over their own bodies is unacceptable and goes against every value this country and all of humanity cherishes and protects. Based-ass union. I like this union. Much respect. Who? I mean, damn. Did not see this coming. If a contract is presented without these 2 essential provisions, we will also be voting against all current leadership. Yo, they are fucking taking names in every future election. If they promote this atrocity to us, that would be an inexcusable betrayal of all of the responsibility of representation, something that cannot be forgotten or forgiven. Yo. All right. That is pretty gangster. I'm not going to read this whole letter because it really is quite long, but I like the way they're just going straight after it. Whomever this guy who wrote this letter is, man, they published the whole letter. It just keeps going and going. Southern California. So I guess it's just a concerned crew members. That is interesting. I wonder how much authority the person, like what their status is in this union, having like written this. You know what I mean? Like, is it just like a few outliers who are like, Trump supporters who are like, this bullshit? Or is there like, they're powerful people in this union who are like, absolutely not? Because, I mean, I knew a lot of these people back in LA, and I don't think most of them would be like, you know what, I'm going to question it. Because they never do. They never question any of this stuff. They just accept it. So it's like, doesn't mean, whatever. I'm not saying just because if you question it, you're right. But it's like they never question any of it. They just accept it all on face value. Like I was trying to see this girl in LA who did props for like the whole lockdown. And we'd make plans and we'd talk on the phone and then get close to it. And she'd be like, like 3 times this happened. It's like, what do you think I'm doing? And then I'm just sitting here in my house. I'm not like running through, not at a packed club. What are you afraid of? But that fear gets in people's head. Cinch and dildo. There was 1 new case in New Zealand. They went into full lockdown. Shake your head. Yeah. That's scary, man. And that's what they're talking about with like Australia. It's like, I don't know. It's I was listening to Jim and Sam talk about it today with like Ricky Gervais or whatever. And I'm like, so there's just you guys, none of them seem to voice any concern about the freedom aspect. It's like in this country, in America, like we value our individual liberties. That's like in the Constitution. It's a very important part of this nation. And it's like, you can debate the right, the wrong, the morality of this, that, and the other, but you're pushing for government like autonomy. Like you don't get a say in this issue. Like you're not allowed, your individual liberties are not protected. If this is how you want to move forward. Like, I just can't believe that's some people's hill they want to die on. And I think it's a pretty righteous hill. It's like, these are important things. Like, even if it's all on the up and up, even if it's 100% legit, you still have to give people a choice. That's the point. This isn't a law. You know what I mean? God, I wonder if they'll try to pass it into law. That could be something like that. That would create a lot of issues. Pat S., I'm waiting for ADA to file a lawsuit against these laws. It's 100% discrimination, 100%. 100%. It's very disturbing. Hail the Nerdporial Life Forum. Hail the Neuroporeal life form. I got to meet up with the Neuroporeal life form in Vegas, which was super fun. Super duper fun. So the first night where I met Neuroporeal and Brightest Day and Ginger Ninja and a whole bunch of people was at the Millennium Fandom Bar in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was a really cool bar, man. I just realized I should have uploaded like my pictures or whatever. I'm so bad at social media. Like, I just don't care. It's just not like I care. I want to, basically what I want is someone to do it for me because I don't enjoy it. Like, I don't enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't enjoy the actual process of like distracting myself long enough to like, do the thing. Because I just find it so tedious and frustrating. But then again, like when I look at my lack of progress on my social media, I'm like, oh, I should be doing more, But it was really cool. I'm gonna try to see if like oh, thanks for reporting life form. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I'm gonna see. I mean, I feel like Gary's probably posted some pretty dope video here about like the bar because it was such a cool spot. I wish I could make that bigger. I want to make that bigger. Just zoom in on it, I guess. Yeah. So I guess this is like Gary on Gary's Instagram. You can go see this on Gary's Instagram, but I guess he made like a compilation of all these different pictures and shit like that, like a bit of his trip. And I know such still this is Matt as a twat. Hey, I tricked him. into thinking I'm a nice guy. But it was such a cool bar. Like there was like this, like lots of great, just like nerd stuff. Like the tap handles, for instance, had like one was a lightsaber, one was like Sauron's tower, and the other was like this big green crystal. And it was really dope, man. Like this dude here, this Max Von Priestley on the left, very cool guy, fucking awesome name, right? And that's Quarter Black Garrett, as you guys all know, who I got to hang out with as well. Great dude. Quarter Black is chill as fuck. I didn't expect him to have this kind of he's just like a relaxed dude. Like he just kind of has like this sort of like, not like a hippie vibe, but just kind of this like, whatever, man. Like just kind of like he's sort of just chill, like way chiller than I expected. Not that I had this like, negative impression of him or whatever, but I just didn't expect him to be so like relaxed, so chilled. And it was a really cool guy. Just a blast. Yeah, look, there we go. Jake D, me, Gary, Max at this really dope bar. You can kind of see like some of it in the background, like some of the nerdy shit. It was pretty damn cool. Man of War says Max was indeed cool as fuck. Does he have a channel? I believe he does. I believe Max does have a channel. He's fairly new at it. I believe somewhere around, I don't know, like maybe 50 subs. I forgot because I subbed to him right there. Yeah, there we go. 82 subs. Yes. Go to Maxfield Von Priestley. He's a relatively new YouTuber. He's got 5 videos up, but he's doing pretty well. Damn. One of them's got 609 views. One of them's got 769. Good for him, dude. Oh, and he like made a whole video talking about the whole meetup. Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. He's got a nice little nerd cave. I'm not going to like show you his video here because like I'm not going to steal a view from him. But if you guys want to check it out, I think he's going to have like he's having a little conversation about it. But this is his, he's got a good nerd cave, dude. That's pretty solid. That's the poster they gave out in the back there, the FNT Hail poster. I got one of those too. Mine's not as in good condition as his because I got drunk and had to carry it around. But I did get it autographed by a bunch of the guys there, which was really cool. Wow, but look at that Venom bust. Man. Hell yeah. Yeah, Max looks legit. This Silver Surfer fucking statue here. That's for you there, Ascension Dildo. And that's pretty dope, man. Yeah, so go give Max a sub. He's a good shit. I like Max. He was real cool. We had a blast. Just a real good hang there. Hey, Nick Weiser, what's up, brother? How you doing, my friend? Kind of missed you there in the chat. Good to see you. Me and Nick had a fucking ball. We had a good time, man. We had a real good time. Tide went on pretty hard there at the fandom bar, which was great, man. Like the vibe there was so positive. It was so much fun. Like everybody's just energy was great. You know what I mean? Like I think even did I post it on my Instagram or did I lose it? I probably lost it because I think I just did the story like an ass. Yeah, I didn't. That sucks. That was such a good moment. I wish I was able to save it. But it was just so much damn fun. But Ascension Dildo asked if I got my noodle wet. No, unfortunately I didn't, Ascension Dildo. There was not, I mean, there were some options there, but I was just like, I don't think this is really something I want to get involved in. But, you know, it was fun. Like, whatever. It's not like, you know, it's not like I needed it. It was like, it's all fucking dudes. You know, we were just hanging out. Like, we were just, you know, and basically doing what we do here, just in person, talking, like debating, like what movies, you know, we like and blah. It's the same shit, you know. But yeah, man, that was great. And then the second day with Mr. Nick Weiser. Yes, Nick, we've become partners in partying. Absolutely. Nerd Portal Life Form. Very positive time. Better than every fraternity event I ever attended. Yeah, it was really dope. Islington Girl says the bar looked really cool. I like the decor I saw. Yeah, it was awesome. Like it was so much fun. I should have uploaded more of these pictures. Maybe I'll do it to my Instagram coming up if you guys want to check it out. It was really, I mean, it was just so much goddamn fun. Oh, I did catch the video. This is so hard I can't like cast it to this thing, but I caught this great moment. I guess it was like with Az, but man, the crew, everybody there, like all the FNT guys, they were so welcoming and positive and like, you know, giving away just like stickers and signing anything you wanted. And like they, you know, called up Az and got Az on the phone. And I guess they did like an FNT the next day at that studio. And it was everything I wanted it to be. You know, it was camaraderie. You know, it was a great hang. It was like, you know, good booze and good people and you got to meet everybody. And they were all as pleasant as you'd like, man. You know, it was Ryan Kinnell was real dope. I got to meet up with him and, you know, talk with him for a while and talk with Drunk 3PO and just Gary as well. And got to meet everybody, you know, in the flesh. And it is different, you know, because it's like you talk to people through this screen, you know, you get a glimpse of who they are, but you don't get their whole presence. You don't really get to, you know, vibe off them as humans. But getting to do that was an amazing privilege and opportunity. And I'm so grateful that I got to do it and go and hang. So if you guys, hail Pop Culture Republic, thanks for dropping in. If you guys get the chance, I can't recommend it more. I cannot recommend going to the next meetup. I know that they want to start doing more meetups. I know they want to have one, I think they said in Texas. I think they want to do like coastals, maybe like California, Texas, East Coast kind of thing. You know, I know they're going to do Vegas again next year. Make sure you guys, if you can, do it at least once. You won't regret it. You know, the group, the hang, everybody was still you know, just chill and like it's everything I ever wanted it to be. You know what I mean? It was just super fun. And you know, got to hang by the pool during the day, go party with your friends at night, gamble a little bit here and there. It was a blast. It was a fucking blast. Brightest Day is just demanding it. Mod me. You know, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar. Brightest Day. Okay, brother. Good hanging with you though, man. That was a blast. You miss it? Yeah, I miss it too. It's chat's moving too fast. Fine. There you go, Brightest Day. Pat S asked if I got any Geeks and Gamers swag. Didn't get any Geeks and Gamers swag. I got Gary swag. I got a hat. right here. Got a Nerdrotic hat, which has already got Luke hair all over it. I got a mug, but I left it at my hotel bar. I felt like such an ass. But I got a bunch of stickers. I got a Quarter Black Garrett sticker. I got a bunch of Nerdrotic stickers. I got the FNT poster. Got it signed by Gary, and Quarter Black and Ryan and Jeremy. Jeremy was cool as shit too. Everybody was just so pleasant, so polite. You know, it's really cool. It was really dope. What's that, Pat? If we do the Gulf Coast, I say Biloxi. Matt, can we still hit that Wheel of Fortune slot machine? Hell yeah, we can. Hell yeah, we can. I'm not much of a slots guy. Oh yeah, there you go, Nerdport. I'll sub to Maxfield Priestley, Von Priestley. What a great name. That sounds like made up. It sounds like the hero from like some 1970s like fantasy cartoon, Maxfield Von Priestley. That was a great fucking name. Great fucking guy too. Pop Culture Republic. If there's a meetup in Texas, I would be able to make it. Hail, ditto. I will definitely go to that one again. There's so much fucking fun. And I know that Sony Poopa said you heard some people mention Orlando. Yeah. Well, I know that Gary said that he's moving to Texas, as I understand it. He's moving to San Antonio. What's his name's already there? Comics Division is already there. So yeah, Texas will probably be the more likely place to meet up. But yeah, for sure. But like I said, absolute hoot, man. Everybody was as cool as can be, as cool as you could hope them to be. You can't recommend going more if you get the chance, because it really did rule. It really ruled. Any questions? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was super fun. Super fun. Yeah. So can't wait to, I guess I'll probably be back. I don't know. It was, it's a little expensive. I mean, Vegas is not a cheap town. No, sir. Plus you gotta, Rippa lives in Texas too. That's right. But because you got to Uber everywhere and stuff like that too, and that adds up. But fuck it, I'd do it all again. I'd do it all again exactly the way I did it. It was great. So much freaking fun. Just gonna hang with everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. Unless you guys have any other questions or anything like that. Moving on. It's kind of a story that's come out today. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but apparently, is it Bob Chapek? Is that the guy from Disney? Yeah. He said something that came off a little clumsy, I think, to some people. And then Marvel stans and the lead of the new Shang-Chi movie just immediately jumped on it and just started like, oh, race stuff. Everything's race stuff. Thank you, Nerdportal Lifeform. Please smash that like button. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, sir. So yeah, it just sounds like just a dumb bunch of idiots clunking heads, bunch of dummies saying dumb things together, which is actually pretty funny. So let's see here. All righty. Another batting in the comics article. I'm sorry that I only use batting in the comics, but they're just like, they're so on top of things and they're so cutting edge. And then when I'm reading articles from other locations, it's like, I just need to like parse through so much bullshit. They just cut right to what I really want to talk about. I know that Clownfish TV, they have their blog. I should check that out more. I find myself just always going back to the exact same sources, but what are you going to do? They have this topics I want to talk about. So Shang-Chi star Simu Liu misunderstands, plays race card in response to Disney Pop Chapek's assertion that upcoming Marvel film is an interesting experiment. Yeah. And I don't know. I was listening to Yellow Flash's video on it, and he was saying that this guy apparently is just goes like, he's pretty what you'd expect, kind of like a woke tool, like going after people on Twitter and just always defending things. And he needs to be like this racial crusader instead of just a charming and entertaining guy. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Ring star Simu Liu has seemingly misunderstood Disney CEO Bob Chapek's recent comments that the upcoming Marvel film is a, quote, interesting experiment, angrily firing back at the executive after seemingly taking his words to be in reference to the fact that the movie's cast is primarily Asian. That's always a smart move. Make sure that before you know what people are saying, attack a powerful executive in the industry you're trying to work in. I can't see how that would blow up in your face. Can't see why that'd be an issue. Fucking idiot. Oh, Islington girl found out the actor's Canadian. Of course he is. Of course he is. No, look, there's base Canadians. Not saying there aren't. You got the Islington girl, of course. You got Norm Macdonald, Ryan Long. But boy, oh boy, do a collection of woke idiots just come tumbling out of that country every damn day. Hey, I don't know if it's the cold, whatever reason. Chapek gave his original comments on the upcoming entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe on August 12th during the Walt Disney Company's Q3 FY21 earnings result webcast. I guess this is asked why the company chose not to either further delay the release or extend streaming access to their near-term theatrical releases. Oof, that sentence was a mouthful. In the face of the, quote, steep fall off in second week box. Jesus, who fucking authored this question? Rise of the Delta variant and international markets still unopened. Oof, God, no wonder his response was clunky. It was one of the clunkiest questions I've ever heard. Just ask him one question at a time, please. Chapek replied, at some point, you got to put a stake in the ground and say, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And that's where we ended up with Shang-Chi and Free Guy, which are our next two titles out. Speaking of which, little side note, I do actually want to see Free Guy. Looks pretty interesting. On Shang-Chi, we think it's actually going to be an interesting experiment for us because it's got a 45-day window for us. So that's the quote. That is the quote. And this fucking triggered little bitch just jumped on it with both feet. If this negatively affects your career, if that blacklists you in Hollywood, good. You little girl. You didn't even ask for clarification on it. You just got all emotional and immediately responded to racist Asian shit. Shut up. God. What was I was listening to Ryan Long making this joke about how like he's wait, was it Ryan Long? I think it was Ryan Long. Or damn it. Oh, no, it was Kurt. It was Kurt Metzger. He was saying how he has a condition where he's pre-triggered. So he just constantly walks around in like a offended point of view, like offended state. And that's exactly what this guy sounds like. Like, I mean, Kurt was kidding. But like the truth of Vigilante's logo. Nice. I'm sticking with it. For now. Oh, whoops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, what did I do? Jeez. What a boomer. That's exactly what this guy look, it's not even a follow-up sentence, like as if he heard it out of context. It literally is the sentence he said, and he got all triggered over it. Like a little bitch. This is the sentence. On Shang-Chi, we think it's actually going to be an interesting experiment for us because it's got a 45-day window for us. In no way should any reasonable person on earth think he meant anything else. Oh my God. This has got to be what an ass. Oh no, brightest day. Did you prove it? Matt is Vig. Vig is Matt. No, we're two different people, okay? We're two different people. Mike DeCarlo says, Ryan Long is Canadian, I believe. We got him. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think probably being in that crucible of wokeness also does force some pretty based people out. In fact, Ryan Long is one of the best voices in not even in the anti-woke movement, but just in like just kind of culture being sane again, or at least a sane voice in culture. Because he says things that are so insightful. I'm like, oh my God. He said something on the Boys Cast the other day, which I was like, that is so spot on. Where it's like, these kind of woke girls are like, they say men are just, they can't handle a strong woman. They can't handle it. Like they're threatened by a strong woman. And he goes, I think a lot of these girls that kind of confuse like opinionated with intelligent. Like they think that if they're just sort of like angrily telling their opinions at their, with their date in like the first 15 minutes, and he's just like, oh, geez, another fucking angry feminist, that she thinks that he's threatened by her intelligence. So I was like, that is fucking so brilliant. That's so spot on. It's like, first of all, having a strong opinion about anything doesn't make you intelligent. I mean, to use an example out of people that they would hate, people from like the KKK are pretty passionate. I don't think it makes them intelligent necessarily. But for you, like, it's just like, you can't understand that you're coming across so super abrasive and unlikable. And you're like, I'm just too smart for him. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's the issue. I think you're unpleasant and you're kind of demanding his compliance in your obnoxious personality and worldview that he's not, and he gets shoved down his throat all day long. Anyway, the Islington girl says, I'd say there are a fair number that aren't woke, but woke charts are running things up here and multiplying. They are spreading like a disease, aren't they? That's the real pandemic. Hot take. But yeah, I mean, there's so many more woke people here in Austin than I expected. Like, I was watching stand up the other day, like the bar I work at, and like, there's just so many comics who just go up there and they just say their opinions and act as if it's comedy because they're doing it like in a charming way. But there's like one guy, like his whole, like, I was listening to his act. He's a black dude. I just listened to like every joke he's saying. I'm like, so the punchlines, there's inequality in America. I mean, that's not funny. Like, what you're doing is clapter. These aren't jokes. Like, the reason this is supposed to be funny implies that I agree with your conclusions about the woes of society, but that's not a joke. And that was his whole set. And he was getting laughs. I was like, oh, it was just so annoying too. It was just such rudimentary stuff that like could be so easily argued against. It wasn't even like clever or complex or challenging. And it's like, he's not an isolated case. It's like a lot of guys are going up there and they're just like, you're like, oh, really? Racism, huh? Ah, sexism. Funny. Yep. So glad to be witnessing this live art. Yuck. Finite San Antonio, welcome to the Republic of Austin. Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. I was just hoping it was different, just like having lived in LA and New York. I was just hoping, it is different. Don't get me wrong. It is different. Like, it doesn't have, like, there's still like a general politeness, around the city and like sort of the world. Like, I don't feel like crushed by it everywhere I go, but watching stand up, I was like, it's a bit disheartening because there is just a lot of woke. There's a lot of woke stand up people. Like, I can't dox myself. I can't put the bar, but there's a girls only mic there. You know what I mean? And it's got this clever little name and you can just feel the vibe, man. None of those chicks are going to be, like the second you offer an opinion or an assertion that doesn't agree with them down the line. Oh boy, you are in for it. You are in for it. But now it's kind of like, oh, maybe that guy's interesting. If all these people hate him, if all these woke people hate him, he might be a really smart, funny guy. I should give him a chance. I'd like to listen to what he's got to say. All right, let's go back to little fucking bitch boys article. What a pussy this guy is. Angry. He added, clarified it, the second sentence. So the prospect of being able to take a Marvel title to service after going theatrical within 45 days will be yet another data point to inform our actions going forward with our titles. In no way is he implying anything about the fact that it's an all-Asian cast. You can't even infer that. This is such a clear and obvious statement. What a pussy. And we planned Shang-Chi. The title was planned when we planned Shang-Chi. The title was planned on being released in much more healthy theatrical environment. Yet another sentence making it clear exactly what he means. He concluded, and at this point, unfortunately, due to this distribution agreements that we have and due to just the practicalities of last-minute changes, we don't want more Asians in movies. Oh, okay, there's the issue. Oh, wait, no, does that say that? Or does it say it wouldn't be possible? and has nothing to do with the race of anyone involved. You triggered little bitch. You little soft pussy. Just waiting, just constantly sitting around waiting to be offended. Oh my God, live your life, dude. Take a nap. Though Chapek was clearly referring to Shang-Chi's odd release schedule, which will, as noted, apparently see the film released for only a short time in theaters before moving immediately to Disney+. Liu appears to believe that the Disney CEO was referring specifically to the fact that the film is an Asian-centric superhero movie. Yeah. He is this kid like it's like he's on his fucking period, and it's just like a little oversensitive. It's like, dude, are you serious? What? Like, are you kidding me? Like, in no way, in no universe could this possibly be interpreted as even mildly related to race at all in any way. The only way that you could interpret that is if you didn't read the quote, which you probably didn't, and you heard about it third person. And probably from someone who wanted to make a point and sort of framed it in a way. Kashi Queen. Hail. Hello, madame. Thank you for joining us. Islington Girl's got a tampon for him. Yeah, I think he could use it. And fucking coat it in vodka so he just fucking calms down. Jesus. Taking to his personal Twitter account on August 14th, Liu fired back. Chapek never even fired first. Liu fired back, tweeting, "We are not an experiment." You go, girl. Alongside several behind-the-scenes photos from the set of Shang-Chi. What a fucking pussy. Listen, sweetie. You are not an experiment. A, so bold. Such a brave statement. Secondly, you are in a business, and in a business, there are experiments, there are risks you take at times. Okay, this happens to be one because no one knows what the future of entertainment for streaming and theaters is. So the movie is an experiment. Oh my God, we are not an experiment. Wow, whoa. Oh my God, what a bitch. He goes on with it. We are the underdog, the underestimated, he continued. We are the ceiling breakers. Gross. Also, like, I don't know. Have you ever heard of Korea? Korea puts out excellent all Asian movies all the time. It's not like they don't exist. They just, not in the country that's predominantly white. Why does everyone got to get so fucking sensitive about these things? We are a celebration, like that show Kingdom on Netflix is incredible. The one about the zombies in the feudal times. It's so good. It has to be the way I want it. We are the celebration of culture and joy that will persevere after an embattled year. Are you? You're the celebration of culture and joy that will persevere after an embattled year? What are you talking? You're a fucking Marvel movie. What are you talking about? You're the celebration. What what? What does that even mean? Did your lawyer write this? What an awful fucking quote. He concluded, "We're the surprise. I'm fired the fuck up." Oh, he cursed, but he didn't curse. He made sure he bleeped it out. Good boy. Good little Hollywood boy. Don't ruffle too many feathers there, Chief. Yeah, although you're definitely fucked going after Bob Chapek like this, you idiot. We are the surprise. I'm fired the fuck up to make history on September 3rd. Join us. Ew. Ugh. Yes, exactly, Sentient Dodo. Me. Ugh. This just furthers. This point may come out about a tad ironic, but this just furthers my point that actors should not say a single word publicly that isn't written for them. They are the least interesting people. They constantly say dumb shit all the time that makes them look stupid and weak and emotional. Ugh. And I know I used to be an actor, so that is a bit hypocritical coming from me. But goddamn. First of all, what an awful quote, even if he did mean it. Even if he did say something about the fact that it was some sort of Asian thing. Like if he, you know, like even if it was like an off camera, which he would have never said publicly, obviously, but it was like an off camera thing about, hey, we'll see how it goes. You know, we're excited. You know, it's an experiment. Even if he did say that, which he didn't, like this is still a sanctimonious, like over dramatic, like, like it's like he thinks he's the guy who stood up to the tank in Tiananmen Square. You know what I mean? Like we're risking our lives, but we are the future. We're the underdogs. It's like, yeah, no, dude, you're a movie star. You're just in a Marvel movie. That's all that's happening. And it happens to have an all Asian cast. I mean, great. Okay, that's terrific. But honestly, audiences only give a shit if the movie's good, because we've had really big Asian stars here before, and it didn't have to be everyone in the cast was Asian. It didn't. Jackie Chan was a huge star here. People love Jet Li. It's not that big of a deal. Bruce Lee was an international superstar and really big here. We don't live in this racist world that you think we do. And even if we did, all you're doing is starring in a fucking movie. You had a trailer. You had 3 meals a day provided for you. Probably massage on command if you wanted. You know what I mean? You got an exorbitant amount of money. I know making a movie is not like super easy. It's not like it's a fucking breeze, like a walk through the park, but like the idea that you're like, we're persevering, like you're starting some liberation army and you're just risking it all. Like, no, dude, you're in a fucking movie. Shut up. And you sound like an idiot because you weren't even close to nailing the tone. Ah, that was pretty great. That was pretty great. Just another Hollywood dope. Not getting it, risking the future of his career pretty severely, and then making some sanctimonious racial statement. That's some good stuff right there. I like that one. Such a dildo. They're out here in the trenches, bro, fighting the good fight, bro. Yeah, man. What are you, like, a Trump supporter? Yeah, because that means you support hate. And we don't support hate. We're freedom fighters. Millionaire freedom fighters living in very posh apartments in nice cities with wanting for nothing. Yeah, you're right on the front lines. Right in the front lines. You and I couldn't think of that guy's name. Che. It's all about timing. Captain Spock is a Deckard replicant. Asia is a continent, not an ethnic group. Why do they all look the same then, bro? Huh? You tell me that. Answer me that then, huh? I want to know. If that's the case, you let me know. Yeah, it doesn't. The thing is, it's like they gotta bottle themselves up into groups because that's how they get kind of like social power. You know what I mean? Like that's the crux of all this stuff. None of it's really about progress or anything like that. You know, making the groups any better. Just read anything from Thomas Sowell at all. I was reading one of his books today, the Black Rednecks, White Liberals. It's like, it's just proof that all these sort of sanctimonious, like group first politics, they do nothing but harm the group involved for the most part. So it's like that, but that's not so, but this is vying for power is what they're doing. So they're trying to make it like it's that they're all in this together. You know, so it's like, that's why they have to do it. I mean, you're right, obviously, but they got rid of the term Oriental because that's offensive, even though it's actually a pretty effective term because it does it's like a specific part of Asia, but now it's got to be like, what do they say? It's like South Pacific Islanders, something like they created like a new acronym that's like just took the place of Oriental, which is like, you knew what we meant anyway, but that's offensive because they didn't invent the term. It's just like, what, how do you honestly see this playing out where people are just like, all right, I'm over it. Okay. This is just so exhausting. Everyone's got their identity and everyone's got their like list of reasons why it's this and how they need to be treated and why, you know, the past is all wrong. And, you know, and you need to learn all of them. Otherwise you're ignorant. It's like, I don't fucking give a shit. I think a lot of people are going to come to that exact same conclusion. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Just fucking ugh. Just like, all right, do whatever you're going to do. Just say whatever you're going to say. Yell it really loudly on Twitter. I'm going to go back and watch Empire. I don't need this. It's not enjoyable. It's like, so what do I need? Do I need to take like some quiz on like Southeast Asians, like oppression or something like that? Like before I watch Shang-Chi, so I have like the proper context. Give me like, do I get to see a little video about Chinese people being exploited in the railroad out west? It's like fuck off with all this stuff. Just trying to watch a Marvel movie, man. Just trying to have a little bit of fun once in a while. Well, you could say that from your privilege. Yeah, I guess whatever. Okay, fine. Whatever you're going to say. It doesn't matter what I say back. So who cares about what you say? Why should I listen to any of it? You're just going to lecture me, demand I comply. I'm not going to comply. Yeah, you can say and do whatever you want. I'm still not going to. And even if you fucking fire me, even if you figure out a way to oppress me, I'm still not going to agree. I'll just be forced to not be able to speak or be anywhere. But you didn't get me. I don't now think the way you think, okay? You're just eliminating one person that can dissent with your voice, but you didn't win. You didn't win. Islington Girl, the 10 rings or the 10 lessons of oppression, Lol. Absolutely. The 10 reasons why your privilege hurts Asian people. That's what those rings are. That's what they are. I can't put that one up, Sentient Dildo. I shan't. Israel is in Asia. So when someone says Asian food, I'm immediately thinking of falafel. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not like, I was like, hey, I was thinking about Asian food tonight. You're like, oh, I love shawarma. No, you're not. Shut up. You're just being intentionally contradictory. I mean, come on now. Come on. It's the Middle East, and you know that. Islington Girl, dude is Canadian. He is the least oppressed Asian ever. Isn't like this country is still the majority race is white, but like in Canada, isn't it something like it's like 94% or something like it's like something insane. Yet they're like falling all over themselves for like these like a tiny fraction of their population. Like I saw some animated commercial that people were like, I think it was like martial arts themed for some supermarket. And it was on this meme site, like, isn't this cool? And I was like, yeah, in a 98% white country, there's not a single white person in this grocery store. It's like, right. That doesn't come across transparent or insincere or just like a complete virtue signal in every single way. Like it's so bland. It's just so boring. It's like, ugh, like you think, I honestly believe they think it's like effective. Hi, Luke. Come here. Come say hello. He won't stop. Look, everybody likes you. Ugh. Here he is. All right. Everyone likes a good Luke cameo. Hi, brother. Hi, brother. Luke is here to be fuzzy and steal my attention. Here he is. But I really do think that they believe like once they like that we like it'll help us. Like, right? Because it's like I talk to some of these people. Like I used to talk to them a lot in LA. Like I would before I realized like, a lot of where they're coming from is just this doctrine they had, they all just agreed on. But it's like they think that because you don't agree with them, fucking cat, hair everywhere now. I'm doing a show, you fluff. Like they think because like you don't agree, like it's because you haven't heard the good word yet. They're like Jehovah's Witnesses. It's just like, oh, have you heard the good word? It's like, yeah, I heard. I'm not interested. Yeah, no, I heard. Fine. I think just because you're a non-critical thinking zealot that the second you hear a passionate opinion, you immediately just agree without a second question. That doesn't mean that's who I am. Like I heard what you said, and then I came to a different conclusion. I'm using the same facts. I'm interpreting them differently. No, I don't. I get it. I know exactly where you're coming from. I disagree. I hear it. I hear you. I hear everything you're saying, all the conclusions you're drawing. I think you're wrong. I think you're fucking wrong. And like that baffles them. Like, I think that's why they keep on it. I think they assume because you don't agree with them, it's because you haven't heard the good word yet. Oh, no. Once you hear critical race theory, you won't be able to argue with it. You'll just fully accept and understand, and you can just join us in our new utopia where no one thinks or has opinions outside of the one that's preordained for you. Join us, and you'll be liberated from white supremacy. I really think that's how they look at it, because it doesn't make any other sense to me. Because it's like, why would you keep shoving this down people's throats if you know they don't like it? It's like, oh, you think we'll eventually come around? No. You're actually alienating more and more people the more you push down these roads. The more you try to get us on your side with this garbage, the more enemies you make. And the more informed and passionate, and we're becoming a bit unified too. Better watch yourselves. Maxfield Von Priestley. Hail, brother. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. We were talking about you earlier when I was doing the Vegas recap. I gave some people, we gave you a little plug to your channel. We can do it again. Go over to Maxfield Von Priestley's channel. I met him out in the Vegas meetup. Seemed like a good shit. And thanks for stopping in, brother. Yeah, give Maxfield Von Priestley a sub. Give him a little subski. No problem. Captain is a Deckard replicant. I need a tighter name. I gotta make an acronym of that. Cesar. Scissors. I'm gonna call you Scissors. No, that wouldn't be Scissors. It'd be Kidders. I need something. Ciders? Would that be cider? No. Sidars. That would be Sidars, right? Cider? Yeah, Sidars. I'm calling you Sidars. There's too many things to say every time. But he says, serious chat and dicking around equals my jam. I love you guys. Love you too, brother. Thanks for stopping in. I mean, that's how it is. I think that's fun. Yeah. Thank you, Snorted Poop. It's Ciders. Side Ras. Yeah, no, it's tough. Captain Cockney is fine. Captain Cockney it is. Captain Cockney it should be. Wait a second. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or if that's just a shot at me. But Manowar665 Neighbor the Beast says he's just been hate watching softcore porn films that actors made when they were unknowns. Oh yeah, anyone in particular? Any actors that I may have heard of that were just in softcore? Maybe shot in Eastern Europe. I don't know. Just a random guess. But I kind of think I sort of think that's like the soul of a lot of these woke people, because it's like they really do sound like their heads have been filled with like the space where they should be thinking is just filled in with like this sort of program. And the reason I say that is not simply because I disagree, because I don't think that a lot of the points they make are completely off base. I think some of the points they do make are like, yeah, okay, like I get where you're coming from on that. Like there's lots of facts that I could argue and bring up and that others already have that could destroy these arguments if you really like let these thoughts in. The reason I disagree, the reason I think that they are programmed is because they say the same things the exact same way. You'll talk to two people who don't even know each other and they say it identically. It's really creepy. It's because it's like, I think it's because there's like this, there's this doctrine, and they don't question it, and they're all just indoctrinated into the doctrine. Okay, not the most articulate thing. And if you want more on these topics, I'd say read Thomas Sowell or go over to Unsafe Space, because they do a great job talking about all this shit. In fact, like there's they've given me a lot of inner peace about a lot of this stuff, because if you do find yourself like arguing with a woke person, it's the least fruitful endeavor you can undertake, because it's just like it's a constant goalpost moving. Like I've met a few that'll be like, oh, that's a good point. But for the most part, like they'll just be like, whoa, 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 and they'll just keep changing like how they argue and their tactics, because the whole point is to win. It's not about like getting to the bottom of something like that or having an interesting discussion. It's simply just to like win, because it's all just a shift of power anyway. That's all they're obsessed with. So all they have to do is basically what happened with me is that they would just argue with me until I got frustrated and then made an ass of myself, and then I became the loser. because I just got so emotional that I couldn't handle the conversation anymore. And then they'd be like, see, look at him. Look, see, we knew it, then they had like the proof they needed. But now it's like, I don't know. I don't even engage. I'm just like, oh, that's what you think. All right. If I get to know you and I think you're an interesting person, I might kind of just start throwing little tidbits at you for you to kind of like digest, and just see what you do with it before I like get involved. Cause it's just not, I'm not just going to like start arguing with some like entitled 25-year-old white girl who no one disagrees with, just to convince her she's wrong. Who cares? Even if I do, big deal. What's going to happen then? But I got her on my side. I'm okay. I'm fine. Sandra Dodo, logic is whiteness. I agree. And very oppressive, extraordinarily. Dude, that was some creepy shit, that Disney one that came out. Things like being on time or white supremacy. It's like, whoa, that is the unsettling stuff. Islington Girl. I disagree with them and their arguments for the ideology. Became instantly negated by anyone who understands the history of what they are pushing. It's a lot of dead people. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would say disagree with them like in your voting, and disagree with them, like internally, and with your people who you can actually have real conversations with, but don't disagree with them to their face. Like it's not, and not even like out of fear, like out of being like targeted, which is a thing though. So if that's a concern of yours, I would respect that. But it's fucking fruitless. It's just a worthless, and you're not going to get anything out of it. I rarely get anything out of it, except like just kind of more confirmation of how they think, or like if you're kind of like using it as like a orangutan in a cage, you just kind of study. Oh, okay. When I say that, it does this. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Sentient dildo. It's a good way. It's a good thing, really. It's much easier to weed out the tards from your social circle this way. That's a great fucking point, dude. That's a great point. I was like, I was listening to the Soul book earlier, and I was thinking back to a friend of mine from LA who's a black dude who, like, the more he was with this woke chick, the longer he was with her, like the more like impossible it became to like discuss things with him. And it's like, it's kind of like codifying, like, oh yeah, like it's just, he's too down the rabbit hole to even think any kind of differently. And so you just kind of like, all right, you just kind of got to be like, all right, I'm hands off because you're here. I'm not here. I'm not going to get to where you are. I'm not going to see the world that way ever. So it's like, there's no sense in us having these conversations. And if our friendship can't exist without us having these conversations, then our friendship can't exist. And you're better off. I mean, it's like, I'm not saying you should surround yourself with only people who just agree with you, because then you're going to get pretty boring. But it is more, it's good to know. It's good to at least have that group of people who do agree with you, so that you don't feel so isolated. I think that's so much of what a lot of us came here for, to this like YouTube community, was this entire feeling of isolation, where you're like, am I fucking nuts? Like, everyone around me is saying, oh, this is great, and this is so good, and fucking white privilege and all that, and you're just like inundated with all this stuff, and you can't even. It's like, and any pushback is just met with like immediate this crushingness, and like I don't know. I felt so alone. I think a lot of people felt so alone, and I think like that kind of collective, like just sort of what the fuck is going on thing, is a big reason why a lot of us are here. And so it's good to find your group of people who that like you genuinely feel comfortable around. Like you don't feel like you're ever walking on eggshells, where it's like, oh, we better just avoid gender, otherwise, so-and-so is going to get upset. It's not a great place to be. But I do encourage you also to just not like, try not to mentally isolate yourself too much, because you do get a bit like I find it at work. Like I work around, like, there's a lot of young people at work. So young and woke overlap a lot. And I just find myself kind of like, oh my God, wow. Like, you guys like Loki, but you're a Marvel fan. And I've never even seen it, but everything I heard break down, I'm like, oh yeah, no, you just destroyed pretty much like your entire universe building, your whole world building. You just annihilated. And it's like, you didn't even get that, did you? Like, and I don't mean to say like condescending. It's like, no, bro, like you're not thinking about this stuff at all. And it's like I kind of found myself just kind of like annoyed to even have the conversation, as if like it was beneath me. But it's like, no, this is the point. Like I need to like you need to be able to have the conversation with like normies too. You know what I mean? Like we can't just live like in our little, corner of the world who like, we just think like we just talk to people who already agree with us and are already on the same page. And then it's like, and then I don't know, then we just like kind of become like this little isolated group of people who just know better. It's like, no, man, like there needs to be like olive branch, extensions, and people need to be, met with at their level at times, I don't know. I feel like I just contradicted my entire points. But but anyway, I don't know. I just don't want myself to fall victim to like making another echo chamber or living in another echo chamber. I just don't think that's as helpful. It's good to find like new points of view and new worldviews that like really do empower yourself. But at the same time, it's like I just don't want that to be isolated. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like I kind of fizzled on that point. All right, here's a little bit of story that I don't necessarily know much about, but I saw the headline and I was like, well, that sounds kind of interesting. I wonder what this is about. So this comes to us from Variety. Look, a new outlet, a new media outlet. Halle Berry sued by MMA star Kat Zingano over bruised film role snub. I don't know what this means. By Gene Madhouse. So I'm like, what? I'm curious about this. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm very curious. So MMA star Kat Zingano has sued Halle Berry, alleging that she passed up a key UFC fight in order to appear in Berry's film about mixed martial arts, only to be dropped from both the UFC and the film. Ooh, whoopsie. Someone's priorities weren't all that great. Oh, boy. I didn't hear about that. That's interesting. This is a lawsuit. It doesn't mean much. She's a large lady. Holy shit, she's huge. Bro, she looks like Cyborg, but a little prettier. She is a big, big gal. Wow. Oopsie. Let me see here. Look at this chick. Fucking monster. She's a big gal. Pretty interesting. Nice butt, though. Not bad. Man, look at those arms. Holy crap. That's scary. She's got a stupid Girls Fight Harder shirt on. Oh, wait. Did she or no? Did she? Maybe someone put that on her. Oh, no, she's wearing it. Girls Fight Harder. Do they? Really? I mean, girl MMA fighters are badass, but will they fight harder than guys? Shut up. Ugh, so annoying. Anyway, go back to the article. So Berry's film Bruise premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival last year and is due out on Netflix in November. Berry makes her directorial debut and stars as an MMA fighter who is also a single mother. Oh God. Wow. What a brilliant depiction. Couldn't be more on the nose. A strong, independent woman who's also a fighter. She's a single mother. In the suit, Zingano states that Berry asked her to appear in the film during a meeting in July 2019. The suit states that Berry noted the parallels between the script and Zingano's own life story. Oh, sounds like we got a Rocky situation on our hands. A week later, Zingano got an offer for a UFC fight in October 2019, which would have put her in contention for a title fight. But according to the suit, Berry told Zingano that for insurance reasons, Zingano could not do both the fight and the film. Ooh, that is a tight spot to be in. Zingano was torn between the significantly valuable career-advancing opportunity to fight for title contention and the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be involved with defendant Berry in a feature film about a character whose story so closely mirrors Zingano's own true life story. The suit states, Zingano informed UFC that she would not participate in the fight. UFC then released her in August 2019. Is that the same? Oh, wow. So that's like a week later or a month later. Wow. So that does sound like her direct decision to not do the fight. UFC released her. 2 weeks after that, Berry allegedly told Zingano she could not appear in the film because only UFC fighters could participate. Wow. Berry then cut off communication with Zingano, who later sided with Bellator MMA. Zingano states a claim of promissory estoppel, arguing that she relied on Berry's promise to include her in the film when she turned down the UFC fight. Berry's representative. Whoa. That kind of sucks. She was like, all right, you know what? You said, she says you can't do the fight and the movie, Berry says, right? This is what the girl's alleging. And she's like, okay, I won't do the fight. I'll do the movie. And then she doesn't do the fight. And UFC is like, oh, yeah, no, you can't be in the UFC anymore. And so then Berry comes back and she's like, yeah, no, only UFC fighters can be. It's like, wait, so I can't do the fight and the movie, but if I don't fight, I'm not in the UFC. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, she's got a pretty solid, I mean, from what it sounds like, she's got a pretty solid case. That sucks. I feel bad for her. She just just torn between those two things and just did her best. Oh, that sucks. Oh, super chat from Fight Out San Antonio. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated for $5. He says, for Luke's litter box, have a great day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Luke's litter box is he's a very fancy that's just shredded hundreds is what I line his litter box with, just because he's a fancy cat and I want to make sure that he feels properly loved and taken care of. So I got a paper shredder. I just, hundreds after hundreds to just, fancify him. I try not to, I try to empty it out too often, to not be wasteful, but I do want him to, you saw him. He's fancy. He's fluffy. He's a fluffy white cat. He needs to be treated as such. I really do think that cat came from fucking Armenian royalty or something like that. I got him in LA. He's just so fancy, so regal. I know cats are regal in general, but Islington girl, hot take. She didn't fight harder to save her relationship. Lol. I just feel so bad at that. Uh-oh. Why are you cringing so hard, Sentra Dodo? Are you cringing hard at the woman fighter story? Duh. So compelling and interesting. Yeah, I don't know. But I feel bad. I feel bad for the fighter. And then it kind of makes it a little more compelling if the fighter's actually, that is her story. If she is a single mother MMA fighter, and then Halle Berry just cut her off. That's just unfortunate. I hope she wins. Well, I hope there's not, unless there's more to the story that I don't know, but that does sound like, poor thing. Poor damn thing. Well, that's that story, I guess. $2 super sticker from the Nerd Pearl Lifeform. Hail. Thank you very much, my good man. And it's a GG controller, a yellow controller, giving a thumbs up. GG. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. All right. Moving right along here. Moving right along. This is from last week, so it's a bit dated, but I still from a few days ago, not from last week, but I wanted to talk about it. It's I don't even know how to interpret this one yet. Let me just read the article. But Sentra Dildo. You feel bad for the fighter. It's the story depiction that's cringing me out. Yeah, it's just so boring and on the nose and just all right. And okay. This whole thing with female athletes and stuff like that. I saw this comedian do this bit recently. I don't want to just do the bit, but the point was the whole punchline was that female athletes are underappreciated is the whole thing. And they're underpaid, underappreciated, this, that, and the other. And this is a hot take, and it's a tough one because this is just how life is. Women athletes are very much underappreciated. And the reason is because being a professional athlete as a woman adds nothing to her sex appeal. No one cares. As a man, it's not going to make me like you anymore. If you're a smoking hot 5'10", whomever, whatever, that works at Walgreens, or you're, a professional volleyball player, I mean, like your personality and the life around you might be more interesting, or there might be, factors that might play into whether I want to date you more or less. But the physical, like just the primal hotness, no fucking way. If you're with if you're like with a pretty hot athlete and then a hotter not athlete comes along, you want the hotter not athlete. That's just not what we value as men, like on a primal level. It's like but for women looking at a professional athlete, there's a lot there that's very compelling. It's, physical strength and prowess and athleticism, generally very attractive to women. It's competition, proof that you can compete on a high level, making your DNA valuable. And then it's wealth and status, all extraordinarily important qualities for a female mate. So therefore, men, we value it. Women also value it. So as a society, it's something we care about. Women on the whole are less interested in sports, and men don't find female athletes any more attractive than just an attractive girl. So the sad reality is, even if they work super hard and even if they're super interesting, it's even if it's like they're great athletes, it doesn't drive society on that sort of base primal level of like, when we were hunter gatherers and keeping our interest. So it does suck, but sorry, it's just, that's the real world. And it's just not that compelling. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that, but there's just like, this kind of world. Why? It's like, you have no faculties whatsoever to conclude as to why that might be. You think it's just 2 + 2 = patriarchy. It's always this. It's just like, well, that's the only real reason. It's like, it's not the only real reason. Men are not interested in female athletes, so they're not interested in female athletics. Women are not interested in athletics, so they're not watching female athletics or male athletics. So who gives a what's the audience for this particular product that is so needed and so like it's just not. That's just not how it goes. It's just not how it goes. Islington Girls says, I guess it's because men want to fill the role of protector, and it's harder if a woman's main thing is something that would compete with that. I guess that's possible. I mean, I'm sure the insecurity of men plays into it, but in my experience, women do want a protector. It's something that, like Islington Girls says, raise his hand. I am not watching athletics. Yeah. But it's like, I think men are very reactionary to what women want. It's like this idea that it's like we want women, so we do the things that women find attractive or interesting so as to get them. And that's as simple as it is. And that's why we do these things. Anyway, this is probably a conversation better had with a person like Vigilante Williamson or something, but it's just frustrating to me where it's like, society doesn't put value on these things for a reason. This isn't to be oppressive or sexist or cruel or unkind. It is what it fucking is. All right. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said something last week. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. So it's like a few days old, but he said this about your freedoms. He don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, you're a schmuck if you don't wear a mask. Screw your freedom, he says. Screw your freedom. Okay. Screw my freedom. As someone who is a former representative in U.S. government, you should really never say anything like that ever in your whole life. Even if that's something you agree with, no. Don't say that. Hollywood star and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger recently made some inflammatory comments about people who adamantly refuse to wear masks, saying that the principle of freedom doesn't give people the right to stop wearing them. Yes, it does. It 100% does. The freedom to live my life within the laws that my representatives vote on. That's what freedom is. Are you serious? Like, yes, it does. Screw your freedom, declared the former Republican governor during a recent interview with retired U.S. Lieutenant Army Colonel Alexander Vindman. Did he say that to a colonel? And CNN's Brianna Golodryga before deeming it a good idea to both label those who don't wear masks as schmucks and blame them for any and all deaths resulting in COVID-19. Step 1, identify your enemy. Step 2, make everyone think that person's the enemy. Step 3, assert power. There are people still live in that denial, said Schwarzenegger, and there are still people that don't believe in masks. There are still people out there that say, well, you don't have to do social distancing and all this kind of stuff. I just think it's that people ought to be reminded over and over that the experts are saying that we have to wear masks, especially when you go indoors. This whole topic is just exhausting. It's just fucking exhausting. You know what? I'm not even going down this article. How boring. Yes, exactly, man. The word das ist verboten. Ascension Dodo. It's even more hilarious when you know that his dad was a bona fide Nazi. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And that came out, and that meme was making the rounds for a while. Had the Austrian in him is coming out. Yeah, it was so that that came out. I thought that was pretty interesting because it was I think that was already relatively well known. But it was one of those things where you're like, I mean, it's like, we're not going to hold him accountable for it. It's not like he did it. But now when you're like, screw your freedom, it's just like, oh, yeah? Yeah, Yahtzee you? All right. One more thing before I wrap up today. So I think we like to talk shit here. Like to have a little conversation, like going after woke people and attacking like what they think and what they do. And, just their kind of throttling of our culture and all of our myths and all this type of stuff. But in that, we do try to keep it a little positive at times. We do try to remind, just sort of share and appreciate and celebrate the things that we do love, which is the whole reason I came to doing any of this, because I wanted to get into Hollywood and talk about this. That's why I came to all these outlets and listen to people like Gary and Doomcock and give a shit about any of this, is because I do love good entertainment, great storytelling. I mean, I really do care. Islington girl, I'll be back with a mask on. Good stuff. Maxfield Von Priestley. I love that in Vegas you have to keep your mask on until you're smoking and inhale dangerous carcinogens. Yeah, that made perfect sense. That was really cool. And when I came back here, I went to work yesterday, and I had that kind of like anxiety of like being in a public place without a mask on again. Because boy, do they really drive that compliance into you, man. They really, really do. Because they give a lot. Those businesses they take a lot of hits if they don't comply with the new mandates. It's very expensive, and they'll shut you down and all that shit. So they put the fear of God in you. But anyway, try to celebrate the things that we do love. And so one thing that I wanted to do with the MFer Mondays, which I've let this show drop off, but I do intend to pick it back up, and I do tend to try to make it a Monday thing as often as possible. And the way I wanted to end it all was to always recommend a movie that I really enjoy that maybe you haven't heard of, or you're on the fence about, or you heard about, forgot about, something that's like really, that I think is great, but isn't all that well known. And this week's movie, it is a film that came out in 2013, which I was lucky enough to see a premiere of back in LA. And it was really different, like a really unique film. It's not quite a horror movie, even though there's like horror elements. It's more like, I didn't really know how to describe it. It kind of defies genre. There's a little bit of like supernatural stuff going on there. It's got some action. It's got some comedy. It's directed by Don Coscarelli, who directed some really interesting movies. He directed all the Phantasm movies from the 70s and 80s. And he also directed John Dies at the End, which is I'm sorry. That's the one damn it. He directs John Dies at the End, which is the movie that I'm celebrating today. I was trying to lead into that, but I meant to say he directed Bubba Hotep, which was an awesome movie with what's that guy's name from all the Evil Dead films? I don't know. He thinks he's Elvis. It's great. It's great. I'll save that one for another day because that one's really great. But he directed these great movies, and the one that I'm recommending today is John Dies at the End, which is this really fun movie. And let's watch the trailer. Pretty badass, right? I love that one. I really love that movie. The first time I saw it, like I enjoyed it, and then I was talking about it with my friend, and he was dissecting it, and he kind of like he didn't like it, and so kind of over time, I sort of thought maybe I was like, oh, maybe I was just kind of caught up in the hype, and I didn't really love it. And I went back and rewatched it. I was like, no way, that was awesome. It's a really well constructed narrative, and it obscures its like the core of the story for a while. Well, it just kind of keeps you in like interested in this journey that you're going on with the characters, but you like it's a mystery for a little while, and you don't get where it's going. And then once you get like the clarity of it, it's pretty good. And they use exposition really well, and Paul Giamatti's performance is awesome. I really don't want to give away too much, but I think it's a really fun movie. I'm not a big horror movie fan. So if you're looking for like a straight up horror, that isn't what it is. But it is just it's a fun ass ride. And also the reason I bring it up is because it's on Amazon Prime right now, which I am going to try to recommend movies that are available now, on one of the major streaming services, but it's available now. But it leaves in 14 days. So now's your chance to go watch John Dies at the End. And I hope that you like it, because it's just a badass film. Just a badass, and it's fun. It's one of those movies that felt like it should have been a series, like it should have been like Phantasm, where there should have been multiple movies, or even like a TV show, because it would have been really fun. Like it had like a lot leading into it. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it today for MFer Mondays. I really appreciate you guys checking me out today. All the new people that I met in Vegas, Max, and everybody, and everyone coming back. It was really great. It's really great to see you guys there in Vegas. It's great to have you guys here in the stream. Fight Night San Antonio, Sencha Dodo, the Islington Girl, Uncle Remus. Hail, Uncle Remus. Hail. Thank you, Max. Sencha Dildo. I think you already said you. Pop Culture Republic. Stream Elements. Hail, Stream Elements. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, please press like on the video if you have not. Share, give it a sub if you haven't. I'm pretty sure everyone here has done all those things, but, still can't hurt to ask. But thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Don't forget Pop Culture Crime Fight. My brain is not working. Culture Crime Fighters tomorrow, 5:15 Central on this channel with the mighty Vigilante Williamson. That should be super fun. Love them. Yes, hail Stream Elements. Hail him. Hell, I mean, I know Sencha Dildo kind of like gets into fights with them because they're both kind of like robots and AIs, but I hail deeply the Stream Elements. But we'll have that show, and always the Cocktail Lounge on Fridays. Keep an eye out for videos and all that good shit. You guys know the drill. Thank you for hanging out. You have a great day. I'll see you guys all in the next stream. Toodaloo.